Today I'm out here at the Kia EV3 test drive event. I'm driving this EV3 having started in Seoul, Seoul with a quick stop in Chuncheon, and now I'm heading towards Sokcho. The test drive course is about 201 kilometers one way. The car I'm driving right now is a GT line full option vehicle. Now, the GT line specifically is fitted with 19-inch wheels, which allows for a combined single-charge driving range of 478 kilometers. However, when I first started, the number on the instrument cluster showed over 500 kilometers. And in fact, even after driving over 100 kilometers, the remaining range is showing as 403 kilometers. Above that, a max of 552, and below, a minimum of 231 kilometers. I like how it displays both the max and minimum values. Its electric efficiency is rated at a combined 5.1 kilometers per kilowatt hour, and the displayed electric efficiency is 5.7 kilometers. In fact, I, who previously drove an Avante hybrid, placed an advance order for this EV3 long-range Earth model, and I've been informed that its delivery is scheduled for next week. However, in my case, I didn't choose the 19-inch wheel option. For hybrids or electric vehicles, the exterior appearance is indeed important, but the real-world driving range and electric efficiency are equally vital. That's why I opted to stick with the original 17-inch wheels. On top of that, I only added the built-in cam and the Harman Kardon premium sound system. Frankly, my budget was initially set between the mid-30 million and late 30 million won range, so I first thought about going for the standard earth or air trim levels. However, upon reviewing the price list and specifications, I quickly realized that when it comes to electric vehicles, the longer the range, the better. And, somewhat surprisingly, the difference between the long range and the standard models in terms of price, the price difference to me personally wasn't substantial enough, so I opted for the long range model. And after looking at the convenience features, I moved up from the air to the earth trim. So I couldn't really justify adding the other options like the monitoring package, drive-wise, head-up display or the sunroof. It's a bit regrettable, but I just stuck with those two essential additions. But even with the Seoul city subsidy, the price came out to about 42 million won, in the low 40s. And this test car I'm driving, with the Seoul city subsidy applied, is priced at 45.02 million won. And here, on the right side of this monitor screen, even while driving, it displays a camera view, much like an around view monitor. You only get this if you add the monitoring package option, so that's also a bit disappointing. Also, the feature that shows the side view on the screen when you use the turn signal is included in that monitoring package. First off, the core of an EV, the battery capacity, is an 81.4 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, which is a pretty decent size. They also say they've applied an aerodynamic optimization design, even in parts you can't see. So, the 17-inch version is certified for 501 kilometers of combined driving range. While charging may not be exceptionally rapid, the long-range model, when using a 350 kilowatt charger, is capable of charging from 10 to 80% in a mere 31 minutes. The charging port is located on the front right side of the vehicle. While it doesn't open automatically, it does come equipped with illumination and a novel feature displaying the current charging status. Now, Kia is confident that they've achieved sound insulation improvement and driving stability with this EV3. As I drive at medium to high speeds like this, you'll notice the front and first row windows are fitted with sound insulating glass. Therefore, I believe that both the wind noise and the road noise coming from the undercarriage are actually quite well suppressed, especially when considering the vehicle class this car belongs to. Now, we're in a tunnel, so road noise should be apparent. The road here is decent, but cabin quietness is still impressive. Furthermore, to achieve a more comfortable ride quality, frequency-sensitive valves and hydro bushings have been incorporated. They paid much attention to the car's basic structural rigidity. So I've actually driven about 120 kilometers now. Overall, it indeed boasts a rather smooth, cushiony ride comfort, but it's not so excessively soft that it feels overly floaty or bouncy when driving. Because the large battery is positioned in the lower part of the vehicle, it effectively lowers the center of gravity. I believe that these factors interact synergistically, allowing the car to deliver a comfortable yet uncompromised driving stability. Indeed, at lower speeds it's remarkably smooth and supple, but as you accelerate to higher speeds the vehicle settles down, giving an impressive sense of high-speed stability that actually exceeds my initial expectations. It's quite good. Oh, and with Smart Cruise Control active, it incorporates a wheel grip capacitive sensor, which means unlike my previous car, there's no need to constantly jiggle the wheel. You can simply hold it steadily, which is quite convenient. And Kia is really emphasizing the iPedal 3.0 in the EV3. Basically, if you pull and hold the left paddle shifter for more than 1 second, the iPedal activates immediately, regardless of whether you're in level 1, 2 or 3. And what's more, this iPedal system clearly indicates all the different regeneration levels: 3, 2, 1 and even 0. To deactivate it, simply pull and hold the left paddle shifter for over a second. And by continuously pulling the right paddle shifter, auto-regenerative braking activates. This intelligently adjusts the regenerative braking amount based on the distance to the car ahead and driving conditions. Oh, and with this iPedal, it previously didn't work when you were reversing, did it? However, with the EV3, this iPedal also functions even when reversing. It also remembers your setting when you restart the car. As for the generative AI assistant, if I say, "Hey Kia, tell me something amusing," I'm not particularly adept at recounting humorous anecdotes, but I can certainly suggest some music or a radio station that might entertain you. This generative AI can recall up to 5 previous conversation turns to provide these kinds of responses. Although it still exhibits areas for improvement, future over-the-air updates are anticipated to significantly enhance its capabilities, thus making it a feature to eagerly look forward to. Now, regarding the vehicle's performance, the Avante Hybrid I drove earlier boasted a combined 139 horsepower and roughly 27 kilogram force-meters of torque. The EV3 has 150 kilowatts, 283 newton meters, roughly 201 horsepower and 29.1 kilogram force-meters of torque. The maximum output differs by over 60 horsepower, but the torque is not that different. While a hybrid model's motor also contributes power during operation, the initial acceleration and the nimble responsiveness during re-acceleration of an all-electric car, solely driven by its motor, feel distinctly more exhilarating and allow for a much more dynamic driving experience than the hybrid models I've driven previously. Of course, this vehicle isn't a high-performance EV. In everyday driving conditions, it offers a sufficiently nimble and stress-free acceleration and driving experience which is quite adequate. The driving modes are positioned beneath the steering wheel, offering 5 options: Eco, Normal, Sport, My Drive and Snow mode. Now, it's uncertain if you can perceive it, but the dynamic ambient lighting shifts its appearance according to the selected driving mode. And the ambient lighting application is actually quite extensive, more so than I expected. You can find it on the dashboard, the doors, the storage compartments down below, and even illuminated around your feet. Moreover, you're not limited to a single color. You can opt for a dual color setting. Regarding the driving modes, frankly, even in Eco, the responsiveness is quite adequate, preventing any sense of sluggishness. Conversely, even when you switch to Sport mode, the steering feel becomes a tad heavier and the throttle response sharpens slightly, but the difference isn't so pronounced as to be a complete transformation. So fundamentally, you can simply keep it in Eco mode for your everyday driving. You won't find it lacking in acceleration or when needing to overtake in typical day-to-day driving conditions. And when I compare it to my previous Avante Hybrid, the Avante is actually a bit longer in overall length. The EV3 is notably wider, and naturally the EV3 is taller, though the Avante Hybrid actually boasts a slightly longer wheelbase. To summarize, while the EV3 itself may be shorter in length, its increased width and height ensure that, for me, the interior space feels quite ample and certainly not lacking in any way. Moreover, because the rear seats also have a reclining function, if you fully utilize that, the rear space can be comfortably used. However, the trunk space definitely feels a bit narrow. While its overall height is indeed greater, this vehicle isn't a traditional SUV, so it could almost be seen as a slightly elevated hatchback. So, the seating position and your line of sight aren't perched way up high. That's to say, with the weighty battery positioned low beneath the vehicle and a seating position that isn't excessively elevated, I barely perceived any significant body roll, not only on straight sections but also when navigating through turns and corners. But most of all, I like how easy it is to operate. When you get into a car for the first time, it can take a little while to get used to its overall size, the car width perception and its operability, right? But with the EV3, once seated, you quickly adapt. The visibility, including the forward and rear side views and the quite large side mirrors, is excellent. And the rear visibility is quite good as well. With such excellent visibility and the controls offering a neutral, balanced responsiveness, neither overly dull nor excessively sensitive, I believe it presents a truly appropriate option for anyone considering an entry-level electric SUV. Personally, while the Ray EV and Casper electric models have recently launched, this model definitely offers superior space. Considering I'm not yet married, have no children, and usually drive alone or with just one passenger, this vehicle's spaciousness and performance truly align with my lifestyle, making it quite suitable. Well, personally speaking, in my own experience, my very first car was a gasoline model. Then I moved on to a hybrid, and now I've decided to purchase an electric vehicle this time. Honestly, even though I occasionally test electric car models, it's really tough to deeply understand the electrification trend when you just dip your toes in with brief, sporadic drives like this. So, with a bit of a study objective in mind, I ultimately decided to purchase an electric vehicle. Moving forward, I will continue to share my initial electric vehicle journey and experiences with the Kia EV3. Thank you very much.